Welcome back, Southern California, AM 1220, FM 98.1, KHTS. Joe Fred Arnold with Dave Cantrell on a special hour of the financial world and how it's affecting your life right now during these challenging economic times. Dave got a good friend, Rod McIntosh, EXP, been in the business for, I think we said 5 decades.
Yep, that's what we decided.
Yeah, sometime. Welcome to the show, Rod.
Okay, thank you.
70s.
First of all, a big shout out to the Goldmans, and I'm glad that they're home and safe.
Absolutely. Wonderful people they are.
Yes, they are.
But the Goldmans have been around the radio world about as long as Rod's been around the real estate.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
70s, 80s. I have a picture of Rod McIntosh. I've seen a picture of his mustache. Oh, my God.
Wow.
Yep.
That's impressive.
Straight out of a 70s fro movie.
Nice.
Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah.
Boy.
Welcome back. Welcome, Rod. Hey, why is it a good time? Let's jump in. Why is it a good time if you need to sell your house to jump in and sell it?
Well, kind of dovetail off of what you guys just were talking about, the real estate economy. I had read or heard that the real estate industry accounts for about 17% of all the economy in the United States. Either like what you were talking about, they need a landscaper, they need this, they need that. So we are probably the largest industry in the nation as far as providing income, jobs, and what you're talking about, money turnover.
Yeah, the velocity of money. Yep.
So basically, there's 4 real reasons that people can sell. Obviously, move up, move down, move out, cash out. Okay? So if you're going to do any of those 4, the reason it's a good time is because we have still low inventory. We still have low interest rates, and we still have strong demand. So what we've seen happen is we're about, just to get into some real quick numbers, okay? May 30th of 2019, we had 631 homes for sale. Mm-hmm. May 30th this year, we had 374. So we're a couple hundred homes short, but our number of pendings is the same. So I ran the numbers today. We've got 408 pending. 49% of the homes are in escrow. 425 are active for sale. So we have about 837 total compared to 2008 when we had 1,987 homes. So that was a bad market when we were selling only 20% of the homes. For sellers in today's market, you price them right and they're in decent condition, they're going to sell.
Right.
I mean, I put one on the market for $688. In 2.5 days, we had 18 showings, 4 offers, and sold it for $700.
Wow.
So for sellers, it is still a great opportunity if they want to make a move. Now you probably want to know, well, if it's good for sellers, how can it be good for buyers? Well, it's good for buyers because we still have interest rates. How low are they headed? They're heading towards 3, right, Fred?
Yeah, my guess is they're going to head below 3, but right now they're in the low 3s depending on your loan amount, credit score, and all that other stuff. So with an APY, this is still a little bit higher. So, yeah, absolutely. I think that a chance of a lifetime, when you think about when you were selling real estate in the late 70s, early 80s, where interest rates were and where they are now.
Right. Well, when I started in 77, they were 7%. And we're doing a lot of VA loans. So, we're still way below historic average. And, Fred, how many people do you pre-qualify to go buy a home for the first time? And when you get done doing all the figuring, their house payment is going to be less than what they're paying in rent.
I would say most of them, without
absolutely.
a doubt. Yeah. In fact, when you take into consideration the pay down in principal, it's much less. And then you're not even thinking about the tax advantage or the appreciation.
Yeah, those two things are huge.
So one of the reasons that we have all this expensive real estate is, the cities, counties, and states make it so hard and so expensive to build that we have a shortage of rentals. And because we have a shortage of rentals and people can still buy and actually have less than a rent payment, everything's going to stay high. And I don't see the COVID changing that business model right now.
The other thing I'm going to mention, Rod, if I can jump in on this, and that is we built a lot of apartments the last 10 years but we haven't built a lot of single-family homes and even garden homes. So if you can
Right.
get in, even a condo, if you need to rent your condo, your single-family house, or your garden home, you have a different type of buyer there. It's not somebody that's used to
Correct.
renting. It's somebody that's maybe transitioning. It's somebody that's moving up and has to rent for a while. It's somebody that's got a family that's typically possibly more financially stable as far as their earning years.
Right.
And so, some people say, well, what if I get in trouble? Well, you can move back in with mom and rent your house for more than what you're paying.
Right.
And I think that's critical, Rod.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So for buyers that want to move up, they've got a home to sell. It's still difficult to do that first. Go buy and then try and sell, because if it's a great house, it's going to get multiple offers and the contingent buyer is going to get shut out. So those kind of home sellers that want to move up, they really need to figure out how to get pre-qualified without selling their existing home and then sell it after they close, or they need to just get their home on the market, get it listed, get it in escrow, subject to them buying another home, and then make that happen from that direction.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Rod, we see a lot of that.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Recently, we had a client that came in that owns her house free and clear.
Yep.
So what? Tell us about that situation.
Yeah, it was. She owns a house free and clear, and so she knew that if she put that house on the sale market, it was going to go almost immediately. So she did She's out. She's looking for a house. She's able to buy it non-contingent, which is great because then she doesn't have that problem with the other multiple buyers. But yeah, she found a house, and now we can sell hers, and it was just a great situation.
Yeah, and that's really still the way it ought to be done. I mean, like I said, 2008, it was a difficult market. Anybody would take a contingent offer because then they could, put two houses on the market, sell one, they still got a deal. So it's really interesting time I never thought I'd see. So, if you have any questions, I'm always around. And yeah, I do have, I don't know how many decades. Let's just say one, Fred, 1 decade.
Well, Rod, I'd love to hear from you just a story or two about young kids buying a house, because I want to talk about that for a minute. I know that you help a lot of people in our generation, my age and up to your age, we're pretty close in age, get into homes. But what about our kids that are starting to buy? You help a lot of those kids get in. A lot of your children's friends from high school are buying. Tell me some of the stories where you were able to get them into homes.
Well, basically it all starts with talking to Fred. I mean, I got to be honest with you. That's the first thing I tell them to do when they get to that. I think I want to buy instead of paying rent and making somebody else's house payment. And the first thing that the buyers need to do is sit down with Fred, okay, and figure out what their expenses are. And even if they don't do something immediately, Fred, is you can give them a plan for 2, 3, even 6 months down the road. I mean, I've had people that have saved up for a year and got things in order, got their credit scores squared away. So it doesn't matter if they're ready to buy now or they want to buy down the road. They need to talk to Fred so that they can make a plan. And what I tell people to do is make a move around opportunity. Quit worrying about the marketplace, okay? If it makes sense to buy something now, buy it. If it doesn't, financially, then make a plan to buy in 3 months or 6 months or whenever. As soon as possible is the answer. The more real estate you own in California, the better off you are. Either more and higher value or more units. Either one, you're in good shape.
So let's talk about units. Units were hard to come by in the past, Rod, because there's not a whole lot of 2-unit buildings,
Right.
3. But now with the new passage of the ADU, where you can put an ADU on your unit, or you can convert your garage into a legal mother-in-law's quarter or
Right.
auxiliary dwelling unit.
Right.
Rod, you could convert your garage. Just think about this. You got you and a buddy. You're paying $1,500 a month. He's paying $1,000 a month. All of a sudden, you buy together. Does it really matter? I mean, you've been locked out of the home buying process anyways.
Right.
Scrap together a couple bucks from your parents, from your savings, whatever it is, and buy it, but then convert half the house into an ADU, because you can legally do it. And you could put a full kitchen in. You could put another bathroom in. And what happens is now you can both live in it, or you can rent one of them out and cohabitate the other one.
Right.
I think it's one of the biggest opportunities that are out there, especially for properties that have a little bit of land, like a Newhall, huh, Rod?
Absolutely. And, this ADU law that went into effect is really helping the people that were trying to do flips, because now they can buy something, and preferably it's on a decent-sized lot with a detached garage, so they have something to start with. Mm-hmm. And there used to be a parking requirement. There's no real parking requirement anymore, so they can come in here. And you're seeing more of it, of course, in the San Fernando Valley, high density, and rents are sky high. Fred, where can you rent something for $1,000 a month? I don't think you can.
No, you can't. You'd have to be splitting with a friend, and that's where, or you're pitching in for your parents that are holding the money for your down payment. I mean, look, get creative.
Or you're in Boise, Idaho.
Yeah. Oh, you're in Well, no, that's too low for Boise, Idaho.
Right.
Well, Patty's sitting across from us, young kid. And I think we're going to get him into a house. We keep talking about it, and he's going to start scraping together some cash from his mom and dad. I mean, think about this, Patty. Yeah. You go in with your parents. You got a job. They co-sign with you. Right. You buy for, let's say, $500,000 with Rod. Somewhere in Newhall. Just a tear down, like a place that just, oh, my God, are you kidding me? You put some TLC into it. You convert the garage for $50,000. You talk your parents into lending you some bucks. You could rent that out for $1,200 to $2,500, depending on how big it is.
Absolutely.
Rod, what does a one-bedroom little with a little bit of a yard go for?
A one-bedroom condo or two-bedroom house?
One-bedroom condo or a two-bedroom house.
I mean, there's still some along McBean that are under, $350, $370 for one bedroom. Yeah, right. Two bedrooms are closer to the $400 mark.
I mean, just think about how much you're improving your value if you bought a single family in Newhall,
right,
and put in an extra one or two bedroom.
Yeah,
there's some decent complexes over near Costco that are 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and they're in the mid-3 range.
Yeah, so I guess my whole point is, why not go buy a single family in Newhall and I say Newhall because you'll see it a little more. Right. Castaic, some of the outlying areas. And something for $600,000. Go in partnership with your parents, build a unit, and you can rent it for $2,000 a month.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, my sister couldn't afford something, so I put half the down payment in, and then she bought the property. We figured out what rent value was. She made the payment in half the rent. I made the other half of the payment with the rent. And then when she sold it, and 4 or 5 years later, I had a little bit of money, and I went and sold her another home. A nicer, bigger, better, more. Yeah. So, creating a partnership with brothers, sisters, relatives, people that you trust. Well, maybe those wouldn't be the people you trust. I don't know. But it's a way to do it. Okay, yeah. It's a way to do it.
Yeah. Rod, those that want to reach out to you, how can they get a hold of you?
661-803-1662. That's my cell phone.
Yep. And Rod, is it Rod at rodmacintosh.com? I want to make sure I got that one right.
It's just it's teamrod.com.
Teamrod.com. Rod, thanks so much. Appreciate your time.
Hey, it was great. Thanks, Fred, for having me. I appreciate it.
You got it. Take care.
See ya.
Thanks, Rod.
Bye-bye.
We're going to jump to a quick break, but when we come back, we got a couple guests. Joel Volk, he's going to talk about working from home and the different tools and necessary to work from home. And then also, I want to break down with you, before we leave today, Dave, credit and how you can get your credit score higher so you can buy a house. You're listening to AM 1220, FM 98.1 KHTS, and watching online, hometownstation.com.